very useful to know about all these things, and what all the sections that is useful to deal with the harassment and all the gender inequalities and other issues. So I'm very happy, and I learned a lot for this these 5 days FDP. So very thank to the SRM team for taking the I'm very much happy to include my name, give us an opportunity to share my feedback. And it's an excellent 5 days. You're scrutinizing the topics as well as, and you can share all the PPTs at a very it's a time within the time we get all the details, all the links, everything in the WhatsApp group also. So you're organizing in such a very good way, and it's an excellent FDP, ma'am. Thank you all to the team and experts, resource persons, etc. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for that, ma'am. Humati, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I'm here. It is, I should appreciate, it's like own family members. So maybe like cousins appreciate it. So we are from a different branch. See, I strongly believe in democracy. Like if there is for the people, of the people, by the people, if you want to create that equality, it should be for the women, by the women, of the women. That movement should happen. I think I could see that happening through this 5 days. Every day I have that vibrant energy to be a part of it, and without any dissatisfaction, I could come with some people are talking about this is what we wanted, need of the hour. Someone should talk about gender sensitization or what is happening to us. Yes, this whole lot of participants and the resource persons and their experience, everything was wonderful. I think a big appreciation to the team. I think all great Talevis are sitting and creating all Talevis here. Hats off to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Humati ma'am, for that. Mr. Ratnaraju. Mr. Ratnaraju.
Ma'am, good afternoon.
Yes.
Is my voice audible, ma'am?
Can you please turn on your video?
Ma'am, is my voice audible?
Your voice is audible, sir. We can hear you.
Ma'am, actually, since I'm maybe one of the a man from FDP, most of the women are there. I could not participate more, but I keep listening. I appreciate all the resource persons. Really, they shared very wonderful, because since I'm working in the co-ed engineering college in Andhra Pradesh, sometimes we need to deal with the students from different backgrounds. So I thought of attending this itself a challenge, because there are other programs conducted by Atal, but exclusively I chosen this program to attend. Really wonderful program I got. I appreciate all the leaders, the team, Komal ma'am and Ramya ma'am, Srimati ma'am, and all the team from SRM. I appreciate for arranging such a wonderful program. Really, I've been blessed through this program. Thank you for all the organizers and all the participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. It is nice to get it from a man here who you would have felt that you were not into it, but still we wanted feedback from you also. It's really nice of you. And now I do want to know Humpy is there here. She had given her name. If not, I'll proceed. Anyone else who's interested in giving the feedback? We did have a lot of names. I don't know what is happening now. Rumade ma'am, yes, please. Please turn on your video, ma'am.
Okay. So video, ma'am, I'm not being allowed. Yeah, now I'm allowed. Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. I just have no words to express myself. It was a very, very big takeaway for me. Even I had discussed my personal issues which was very easily solved. And it helped me to enrich myself to that. As a resource person, now I have realized that I had restricted myself, but have to further research, do myself to present myself much better way. It was a very big takeaway, like not to restrict myself only to a subject matter, but beyond that, regarding gender sensitization and self-assessment was the best part, which was enabling us to realize where we really stand and what we really need to do. That at this age, even it's not the age hardly matters, that we can still work for more. It's only a mindset which matters. That was the big takeaway for me, that yes, it's never too late. You can begin even now. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And your entire team effort was an excellent one. Lot to learn from you I got. And I have no words at all to thank y'all. It's no sufficient words at all. Thank you a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am, for that. And now I invite Dr. E. Poorman, presiding officer of ICC, to deliver the report of this 5-day online FDP. Ma'am.
Thank you, Ramya. I'm Professor Poorman, coordinator for this FDP with my team members, Professor H. Srimati, Dr. Ramya, Dr. Tangarevati, Durga, Kodai, and George Princess. Take immense pleasure in presenting the report of the FDP organized in the online mode during 12th July to 16th July, that is today, which is sponsored by ACT and the Ratall scheme. Our heartfelt thanks from the organizing team of SRMIST and enthusiastic participants of this FDP to AACTE first for sponsoring us in the consecutive second year. The participants are allowed to register maximum 200 by AACTE portal, and we have sent mails to them to confirm their participation, and around 150 responded. Again, we disapproved someone and make sure that others, because the chances should be given to everyone. So everyone registered, and due to maybe some valid reasons, they couldn't attend all the sessions. So we were able to have minimum 120 to 152 participants attended most of the sessions. More than 95 attended all the sessions. Also, as announced in the inaugural function, 5% of them will be receiving active participant certificates today. Also, the teams will be awarded with the certificates for their presentation during their activity session happened on day 4, session 3. So this FDP started with the inaugural function, which was presided by Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir of SRMIST, Dr. Sri Muthamichelvan, Madam Shanta Sheila Nair, IAS, retired, former Vice Chairperson of Tamil Nadu State Planning Commission. And she is so kind enough to be the chief guest of inaugural function and won the hearts of most of the participants by her very casual address, and she spoke from her heart without even having any of the chit in her hand. The felicitation address was offered by Dean, College of Engineering Technology, Dr. T.V. Gopal. The session session 2 of day 1 continued with the title Leadership Style and Assessment, handled by Dr. Tulsi Goswami, Department of Management, Central University of Rajasthan, with activities. The last session of day 1 was by Mrs. Uma Meyyappan, Director Commercials, Ayyappan Engineering Industries, Chennai, on the topic Women Entrepreneurship. All the sessions were very well received by the participants. Second day, session 1 was handled by University Resource Person, Professor Kanta Devi Arnachalam, Dean CENR SRMIST, on the important topic of Sustainable Development Goals and role of women in that. The second session was Women's Health and Nutrition by Dr. Vijayalakshmi Venkateshan, Scientist G, HOD, Stem Cell Research Division, National Institute of Nutrition, ICMR. One of the participants commented in the chat box as goddess of women health. Thus, I wanted to quote here. The last session of the second day was on mentoring, which was made very interactive by resource person Dr. Nappinai Cheran, psychologist, founder Sci-Hub Brain and Behavior Clinic. Third day was started by Dr. Sheila Sasikumar, Director Clinical Research, SS Healthcare, Head Clinical Research, High Care Super Specialty Hospital, about women in research. And internationalization was the title dealt by Ms. Kavita GR, Consultant, International Relations, IIT Chennai. The most wanted topic of work-life balance and stress management, which was especially in COVID time, was very well delivered by Mrs. Lakshmi, psychologist and corporate trainer. So another vital topic, emotional intelligence, was the first session of day 4, which was offered by Dr. Karunesh Saxena, Director IQAC, Director CDC, ML Sukadia University, Udaipur, Rajasthan. The second session of the same day was handled by Dr. Seema Meghra Parikar, Professor, Department of Geology, Kirori Mall College, University of Delhi, on the topic of gender equality, status of India in 2020, and she showed a gender atlas too. And we had an interesting session at the last session of day 4, which was very close to our heart. That is activity session for our beloved enthusiastic participants. There are 3 different activities planned: case studies, projects, and survey by Professor Srimati, and of course she was there as a moderator. So the final day of this FDP, today morning, we started with the session on prevention of sexual harassment by Dr. Priyambada Mohan Singh, Professor, Department of Criminology, University of Madras. The second day, just the previous session, which was an activity session, that's why it got delayed. Activity session by Dr. Ranjani K. Murthy, Training and Research in Gender Development, and that main topic what she dealt was gender mainstreaming. And finally, we are now in this validatory function of this FDP with the wonderful enthusiastic participants, and we are happily waiting to listen to from today's chief guest, Madam, and Director Faculty and Dean IQAC. With my favorite quote, I want to conclude the report. The quote is, "An empowered woman is powerful beyond measure and beautiful beyond description." Thank you. With that, I conclude my report.
Thank you so much for that report, ma'am. Now I invite Professor Ramaswamy sir, Director, Faculty and Research, to deliver the presidential address. Sir has been taken the post as Vice Chancellor for more than 3 years, and now for more than 3 terms in Karpaham University, in Tamil Nadu Agricultural University twice. And sir, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, ma'am. At the outset, I sincerely thank Dr. Poovamal and her team for providing me an opportunity to interact with all the participants. I am sure that you heard and grasped the very good organized lectures fixed by the team of SRM. And you have also heard from our own SRM staff members, besides other experts from other institutions. And I sincerely thank our chief guest, madam. I hope she was the invited speaker for the January
Yes, sir.
session,
Yes,
5-day
sir.
session, and today she has come from the she has come to the same place as a chief guest. This is the way the SRM supports our friends from the other institution. You also grow and we also grow. As an institution, I should say that SRM is very unique. We have multidisciplinary faculty, very unique in the whole country. Leave alone the NIRF ranking and the awards and other things. We are bestowed with very good teaching faculty, and they are the resources to attract around 56,000 students. And we also provide very good opportunity for them for the employment and other things. Without giving more details about the institution, which many of you know from the website or by discussion, Let me take you to the present situation, especially in Tamil Nadu. See, out of 12.58 lakh students appearing for the +2, 52% are completing their higher education. That means our GR is always 52.68%, which is very unique, which is better than European countries. The country is looking for 25% GR, whereas we have reached 52. And to which level we have reached, you take all the professional degrees, and the girls share 68 to 78%. That means they perform, they enter into the professional stream.
Sir? Hello, sir. I think sir lost his connection.
Anybody in the family is decided, any growth is decided by the family members, mostly the parents. Because of this, in India, underemployment is very unique for the girls rather than the unemployment. How to break this underemployment? For which I'm sure that our Pomal madam narrated what is required for you, the empowerment. You take the simple word, every day morning we are taking a cup of coffee or tea. You take the first letter C. You should be very clear in your concepts. Be confident in the existing knowledge. And then understand what is going on. Practice every time what you have understood. If you do all the three, the cup is in your hand. Your stomach is filled, your energy is provided, and I am sure that you are very fortunate to be associated with this type of workshop. That too 5 days. We have heard about Panjaloga, Panjashil, but this is 5-day workshop wherein you might have relaxed at the same time, equipped yourself, empowered yourself so that you can relax at home and you can always repeat something uniquely to your student friends. And mostly where our women folk fail, it starts from our house. Even though you are a deciding factor for everything, even for a marriage, you visit, at least the screen will open a small slit and there will be an indication, say yes or no. So you are the deciding factor in the family. So likewise, you are also a deciding factor till you cross the middle ages. Even you progress up to the middle level. And 48% of our women teachers succeed to become professor. But only 20% succeed to become a professor or administrator after professors like dean, director, vice chancellors. India is bestowed with very good leadership thing, and you take the birth of the woman empowerment in Tamil Nadu. You might have not, there is not much literature about that lady, but she was the first one to resist the foreign invasion, to fight with Britishers. Velu Nachiyar of Ramnad, Sivaganga, she was the one. And what we missed our Rajiv Gandhi by a simple technique used by a girl that was also used by the same army of Velu Nachiyar. And then Kurunji was the first one. She sacrificed and he killed the woman folk, I'm sorry, the male armory, and she succeeded. That was the first success in Indian soil, fighting against the army of UK, and we succeeded. Unfortunately, we don't have the record. And you come to Bharati. He was the one who gave so much of songs and liberty, short stories, that Uchi meedu vaanidendu veeluginra podilum, that he was the one who gave Sendridavir ettu thikkum. All these things he provided. Today you are enjoying all these things. But you please strive hard to succeed. And I wish that today there are only 3 ladies as vice chancellors, but we have 19 government universities, 53 total universities in Tamil Nadu. And I wish in future, you don't ask for 30%. You should be always sharing above 50%. Just like our professional degree earned by our girls, 68% of the girls get the professional degree when they join. Likewise, you should lead and you should enjoy the position, because in India, we study only to earn. It is not, people will always talk about positive things. We want to bring humanity in the person. We wanted to bring good character in the person. On the stage, we can talk everything. But in practice, they always have a different face in the background. So I sincerely request you, in the educational system, you please follow every 4 years a textbook. Today, you are guided. You can design your own textbook. You can pick up chapters from the published literature. There are only 4 textbook publishers in the world. And you can always get the help from them. You can design that one. And you be a teacher to prepare a teacher manual. You have to prepare a student manual. And there is a private agency like IRA. There are 12 companies to prepare notes and examination evaluation system. I sincerely request you, even today, you practice assessment rather than examination evaluation. And this assessment should be continuous. Then even if there is a very big difficulty like pandemic, you can assess every student. Fortunately, we were exposed with a trimester system and continuous evaluation, 5 examination in a month. So that is the reason why our students, especially agriculture students, are sitting as DGP, Chief Secretary, 42 IAS officers in the state itself, and 148 IFS officers. It is only because we start early by 6 a.m. and our program is, we don't fear for the competitive examination. Because of the continuous evaluation, we write so many examinations. We always feel that we can sit for any examination. We have to remove the fear complex of our students for the examination. When you do that one, Tamil Nadu will excel, India can excel. You see how people are afraid of NEET examination, JEE examination, all these things, all are multiple choice examination. Our students will easily grind and they succeed. So it is better that as women teachers, equip yourself, empower yourself, and try to practice whatever you learn, and you be a good mother, not only for your family and your children, you be a good mother in the institution. That is more important, because you know pretty well, after +2, students are coming here. Parents think that we take care of them. We think that parents will take care in the hospital. And we concentrate only for 5 hours with eye-to-eye contact. What they will do for 10 more hours? We have to find some other way of engaging them. The day that you engage for additional 6 hours, you are a satisfied person. Students are also empowered students. And I sincerely request you all, be happy, be empowered, and do whatever you like, but be focused. Without focus, whatever you do, you are not going to be successful. We are time servers. I'm sure that it will be a successful venture. Our teachers have given you enough material. Try to practice. They have come out with a souvenir in January experience. And there are some more additional materials that are available. And you can always build your capacity. What are the tools you need? It's all available in the net. You borrow that information, equip yourself, understand, and then practice. Wish you all good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for those empowering words. As you said, these 5 days we have been equipped ourselves with the inputs which were given by the speakers, and we'll definitely strive hard to make it to the highest. Thank you very much, sir, for your motivating words. And now I invite Dr. Thanga Revati to introduce the chief guest of the day.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my great pleasure to introduce our speaker for this session, Dr. V. Bharati Harishankar, Professor, Director IQAC, Chairperson, School of Social Science, University of Madras. Dr. Bharati's research interest includes post-colonial studies, gender studies, literary translation, web-based pedagogy, and OER. She has 109 publications, including books, edited volumes, textbooks, articles, and translations in national and international journals. She has presented invited talks in over 100 conferences, most notably at University of Cambridge, UK, La Pietra Dialogues at New York University, Florence. Dr. Bharati was instrumental in setting up a gender lab, the first of its kind in the country, to offer online workshops on gender sensitization. She has designed a soft skill course on gender sensitization and workplace readiness. She is recipient of LEAP, NAC Assessor, Visiting Fellowship NIZT, Humanities Research Center Travel Grant, Australia, Shastri Indo-Canadian Faculty Enrichment Fellowship, Shastri Indo-Canadian Collaborative Course Development, Honorary Adjunct Professorship at Athabasca University, Canada. She is the nominated member of Australian Institute of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Studies. She is a consultant author for Commonwealth of Learning and UNESCO, member CII, ICCR, Prelim panel advisor for Sahitya Academy Award, and executed Erasmus project, enormous project, skill building for women in rural Tamil Nadu. She has conducted online tutorials, PI for Devadasi system, funded by National Commission for Women. We welcome you, ma'am. You can take. Thank you, ma'am. It's yours now.
Good afternoon. First of all, it feels good to come back and meet all of you, even though both the times we have been meeting virtually.
Yes.
On that note, many thanks for the invitation. And also, I'm happy to be meeting Dr. Ramaswamy, Director Research, Professor Agustin Maniraj, Dean IQAC, Professor Puamal, Professor Srimati, Ramya, and the team here. And of course, the very new set of participants who have joined us this time.
Yes, ma'am.
So it has, the Atal program has been doing several capacity building exercises. And I have been offering, either invited lectures or like this, either inaugurating or presenting the valedictory in quite a few of them. And first of all, it is very nice to see that we are in the second edition now. So which means we have successfully finished one and about to finish the second. And I'm sure all of you would be very pleased with all the inputs we heard from the participants. So I'm very happy for all of you. And of course for the participants, because none of us want to spend an entire week if, listening to things we don't really want to listen. So it is very clear that the people who have spoken before me have done a wonderful job. And that can mean two things. If you look at it positively, all I need to say is just go back to what they said and we will collect them all, and that is your takeaway. But on the other hand, it also makes things very difficult, because what do you say in a valedictory that can outshine and outperform so many scholarly presentations which went before this? Okay? So when I asked that particular question to myself, I wanted to basically share my experiences wearing different hats and not always successful, but at the same time also moving forward in life in the way I wanted it. And not many of us can say that. So that is the point that I wanted to raise with all of you. Of course, the topics that have been covered are extensive. Women's leadership. I mean, I was particularly impressed that those two sessions were there. Women's leadership and women's entrepreneurship, because somewhere along we believe that, yes, when women are educated, they can only enter into the workforce. And yes, I mean, the gender mainstreaming efforts and the entry into workforce is a very good idea. We want that. But there are certain inherent skill sets that women have which may lead them to entrepreneurship and leadership in a way we may not have envisaged. So that is where I felt those two sessions were particularly appealing to me. And of course, the other thing, yes, the work-life balance is always a challenge. It is a negotiation that we do day in and day out. However, it becomes an issue that we are discussing only because we are not acknowledging what skill sets we have, and a very unique skill set that we have is multitasking. So instead of strengthening the multitasking ability, we end up following this extreme brittled focus on one particular aspect. And that, in a certain sense, has been set as a benchmark, maybe because more men are in the top positions. So a work ethic, a work style that has come to us today as defining leadership seems to be what men have followed all along. Whereas, as a woman, there are skill sets that we can bring in to the leadership roles. I mean, I know when my son was growing up and I would be in the kitchen cooking, but busy literally talking to myself. And so, he would come and ask, who are you speaking to? I would say, no. That is a lecture that I need to give later in the day. Or this is a paper that I'm writing and the deadline is sometime, in the immediate future. So this kind of, we may be cooking, the focus is also there. You're also answering the child, but somewhere along you're able to think about a research problem, a research idea, and move on. That's an extraordinary talent. Only that nobody tells us that. And since nobody tells us that, we believe that it is not extraordinary. We have made it ordinary. Whereas you try asking someone, the Ashtavadani and the Dasavadanis are entering into the different record books, and we do it day in and day out. And because there is no record that we are breaking, we are only breaking our own records. We are not pausing to ask. See, speaker before me, he made it, he gave us a set of statistics which are very impressive. But that statistics is only one part true. The reason is the numbers have increased, the percentage has increased, but where have they increased? At the entry level. We still have a long way to go. As I keep telling, when I was an associate professor, I think I had a lot of friends in the university, a lot of people to share my thoughts with. The minute I started becoming dean of this, director of this, the number dwindled a bit. And then, you move higher up and then you start sitting in UGC's committees or an international committee, and you start doing that, you suddenly realize no, it is very lonely up there. And I'm very sure men may not have that situation to face. The simple reason is they have had more than. So there is a role model, but at the same time, you can take a feather off their cap and say, let me try this. But it doesn't happen when you are a woman in a leadership role in a very predominantly male dominated field. I'm not only talking about academia, I'm talking about every unique field that you can look at. The path is charted by a few women or fewer women than men. And that is why it becomes important. I don't know if the speakers who spoke on women in leadership told you this, but as women, every success that we achieve needs to be documented and shared. The reason is there are several others following us, and sooner or later, they are going to reach this stage. And when that happens, unless experiences are shared, we are not providing, you can either call it a cheat code. Hey, this is what I followed to, succeed here. This is a digression, but let me give you this example. The women scholars who work with me would come and announce, ma'am, I'm in the family way. And they expect a lot of support and understanding, emotional and otherwise. So, of course, I give them that. And, one particular scholar kept telling me, but ma'am, you need to understand that, there are concerns, there are problems and all of that. So finally I told her, please don't mistake me. But actually, as a mother, what I felt was the time when I was pregnant, I could take care of my child right here. So it was a very comfortable position. But once you have delivered the child, there are 101 things that a working mother has to think of. And the next step is, once a mother, always a mother. So there are certain roles for women where there is no retirement. And that is where every role that we take on is actually a long haul flight. This is like the flight from Chennai to New York. It is not a flight where you hop, skip and say, okay, let me go to Chennai to Mumbai, Mumbai to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to... No, it's a very long haul flight. And that is where it becomes very important for us not only to look at the situation around us, but who we are and how we position ourselves vis-a-vis our work. And if that aspect is well understood by a woman, I'm sure many, many more women will be will be donning leadership positions. But alongside this, we keep talking about the glass ceiling, how it gets very difficult to break. I'm not claiming the glass ceiling does not exist, but I would like to caution that the glass ceiling is not outside. The glass ceiling very often is within us. We keep asking, we internalize many of the stereotypes. We internalize many of the gender role stereotypes. Many of us mothers in this gathering would have always felt a little guilty when you leave your little child in a daycare and go to work. or even when you leave them with relatives back at home and go to work. All of us have crossed this. But have any of us been told that, no, it is not the quantity of time you spend with your children, but the quality of time that your children will recall as they become adults? At least nobody told me. But now I make it a point to tell several youngsters that. Because at every stage, a woman has choices to make, but these are not easy choices, and these are not choices that are very rational many of the time. I mean, we make a choice not considering one factor, but we make a choice considering 10 different factors. If I do it, is this going to affect something else? So in other words, someone who can negotiate so many things. Yes, Ratna, that is amazing. Only when we become mothers, we know the value of our mothers. The amazing part is when we negotiate so many things in our day-to-day life, why is a corporate negotiation something that you feel is beyond our reach? Because somewhere along, your IIM has taught you something else for corporate negotiation. We somehow assume, I'm making this point because increasingly as I look around me, I feel a whole lot of women in leadership positions are mimicking men who are leaders. They are far more aggressive than they need to be. They confuse assertion with aggression. And almost immediately, a woman asserting looks very aggressive. A man asserting does not seem that aggressive. But that is a cultural mindset, and that is not going to change because you and I converse now and say, let it change. It will not change. But having said it will not change, I have never understood why aggression is the way to go. Because I have found a whole lot of very successful male leaders who are assertive. But somewhere along, we do not follow them. We only look at these flashy leaders who are literally pushing their way forward, and we believe that that is the way forward. Of course, the one reason is we don't have enough role models. But the other reason is women inherently, culturally, we are trained to respond to situations and not to react. A man reacts, a woman responds. And somewhere along, we have forgotten that these two words are actually antonyms and not synonyms. And we have been trained to respond and then we react. And there is a conflict there. And the conflict can affect your family, it can affect your workplace and the way you interact there. The next aspect in this whole gamut of interaction between a woman and society is there's a whole notion of articulation. Somewhere along as women, when we want to say no, we say yes. And we create a lot of virtue around it. All those Mother's Day messages which come. Honestly, I feel like telling people who send me that, please don't perpetuate the stereotypes. You're all sacrificing, you're so compassionate. No, I'm not all compassionate, not all the time. I am ambitious. And my ambition for a woman is not a dirty word. If ambition can define goal orientation for a man, it has to define goal orientation for a woman as well. So why would we say that ambition is wrong? It is because all along, for different reasons, maybe sociocultural or familial expectations, when we want to say no, we say yes. I mean, I don't know how many of you in this group wanted to do a particular course of study, but your parents wanted you to do some other course of study, and you said yes. Probably, young boys at that age, probably, it's only probably, have a better way of saying, I want this, I do not want this. And if we are able to articulate what we really feel and really want, I think we can make our lives easier. And in order to do that, I don't know how many of the speakers mentioned this in relation to gender mainstreaming, gender equity. We need to articulate, speak out our voice. I mean, voice is not the loud voice you are hearing right now from me, but voice is where you can express what you want, how you want to do it, why you want to do it, and not feel that somewhere along your decision can be heard and it will not be ignored. And I keep telling people, others can disagree with me, others can fight with me, others can agree with me, but I find it very difficult when others ignore me. And that is what voice for a woman gives. We articulate what we want, and that articulation is listened to, and others also respond. Because when a woman has voice, automatically she can assert her agency. What do we mean by agency here? It is the extension. I not only voice out what I want, but I carry forward that into action the way I want. So if women can assert their agency, then we will not have ward councillors, panchayat board members, and we tout that statistics and say, a lot of women now are in the local body. But do you know that even for the woman's signature for having attended the meeting is taken inside her house? And a meeting is conducted by proxy by her husband, brother, father, whoever. So what kind of a representation are we looking at? So let us not give up that agency to others. Let not that decision come from others. This is not to say, do not listen to your parents or spouse or your family or your seniors. No. What I mean is, each of us are fitted with brains. So, that brain has to function. So, I'm sure we can think for ourselves. If we can't, I don't think any of us should be in the positions we are. So, when we can take that decision, a lot of women leaders actually have listened to a lot of people, but the final decision was their own. And when that happens, it becomes a very informed decision. It will not become a hasty decision. You know all the possibilities, what can go right and what can go wrong, and then make an informed decision. And when that happens, then we can start very slowly talking about empowerment. Because in the present format, when we say empowerment, we assume that men have to give it to us, or society has to give it to us. There have to be policies to ensure. All of these will help, no doubt. I mean, the very fact that the prevention of sexual harassment at workplace has made more women feel safe about the workplace is in itself an amazing thing. We feel more safe in the workplace. We feel there is a redress mechanism. Yes, but, I mean, this but is all caps and bold and underlined. There are two very different trajectories that go from there. On the one hand, a woman registering the case even under POSH is not taken very seriously, and there are repercussions. I mean, a woman gives a complaint and then quits her job, not ever to take up a job again. That's a problem. But on the other hand, as someone who sits on the internal complaints committee of quite a few companies, I find a whole lot of reverse marginalization of men. I can share a very interesting, I mean, it's interesting only academically. I found very bad as, a woman who has had a lot of men around me and who have all been major inspirations in my life. So there were two young people who were in a relationship, and for whatever reason, the man had to call off the relationship. And the next day, the woman files a complaint against him under the POSH. And once it is put under the POSH, it is the responsibility is on the man to prove that he is innocent. And honestly, as a woman, as a mother, I felt very bad when this young man comes for the ICC meeting and says, ma'am, we were in a relationship here till yesterday and she's filed a complaint today. Now I'm trying to busy rewind and find out what I said or did can now suddenly become wrong. And you realize we have not trained our men either. I mean, suddenly, thanks to all the women's movements and feminist movements, we have just quickly and rapidly changed ourselves. But as a society, you cannot be at war with men all the time. There, it becomes imperative that we tell the men where we have changed. No? We never tell them how and when we have changed. And then we suddenly expect them to change at the same pace, the pace at which we are moving. And if all of us think this is empowerment, I'm sorry to say it is not. Women's empowerment, first and foremost, cannot be at the cost of many women. I mean, a few of us come here and discuss. We can't say all women are empowered. There are several women who can't even voice out what they feel. But certainly, women's empowerment cannot be at the cost of men. Because if we take that aspect, we are still going to create a lopsided society. We will create a society where some men may keep pace with the way women's expectations have changed, but many will fall behind, like the young man in the instance I quoted. So that is where I feel women, I mean, a lot of things have been asked of women, right from the myths to legends to our own family. Oh, why don't you adjust? It happens to us every day. And same thing happens. Ma'am, if you can please do it. That also happens in the workplace. But having understood that these are the demands of us, I feel empowerment has to balance not the family and work and life, but it really has to balance between our own rights and our own responsibilities. Yes, thanks to the policies, thanks to a lot of men and women working for women's empowerment, thanks to a lot of schemes, thanks to a lot of awareness, we believe that women's development and empowerment is happening. I mean, the SDG goals are, we are busy pushing them. Like our students asking us for extra time for assignment submission. We keep pushing the SDG goals bit by bit by bit. But having said that, yes, we need our rights. But real empowerment cannot happen till all of us are responsible for what those rights will give us. If we use our rights irresponsibly, then it is not good for the larger social good. So somewhere along, I mean, this is what we keep saying, patriarchy did to us, right? But let us not repeat the mistakes of patriarchy, but let us look at, patriarchy has also given a nice set of frameworks. So what we want to do is take aspects of what is already there, but move forward with what we want, not only as a right, but also as a responsibility. And once that happens, we don't have to put projections for when we can call all of us to be empowered. But we would automatically be empowered. And again, this empowerment has to touch upon not only one part of the society, but at least in a society like India, it has to move across through caste, class, rural and urban, religion, several other social markers which are busy intersecting, and it becomes a veritable maze for us to navigate. But provided we are clear about what we want, the goal is not far to reach, and of course, I mean, the goal is not easy, it is never easy, but the goal is still possible and still within the reach of many of us. So on that note, first of all, congratulations to the organizers and best wishes to all the participants. May you find what you want in life from here on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. This was indeed a winding up session, and I'm sure you were not there for all these 5 days, but trust me, you have mentioned what all the 5 days, what all the speakers, whatever they have given us or shared us in the form of their content, all that you touched upon, be it SDGs, be it right, be it responsibilities, be it the gender sensitivity, gender parity, gender mainstreaming. You did touch upon all that which was discussed for the past 4 days until this afternoon session. That's what makes an expert and a person like you to be a leader, and we always wish that you be a truly inspiring person, a role model for all of us, as you are to me. As you said, ma'am, the glass ceiling is within us. It is with our own capacity that we have to break up the glass ceiling and come out. And we are not here to ask others, give me this right or give me that right. Only when we come out of a cocoon, come out of a shell, we'll be able to enjoy the rights which is there, which need not be given by others to us. We'll have to enjoy, we'll have to be responsible for what our rights will give us, as you said. So thank you so much, ma'am, for that. And now, any questions, participants? Maybe 2 or 3 questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am, please.
So ma'am was telling that we should know our responsibilities and duties, isn't it? So for creating awareness related, generally we focus more on rights. That focus on duties is completely like it's pushed to the background. So how can we tell them about their responsibilities also? How should we proceed in that direction, ma'am?
Sure. First of all, an excellent question, because like in every other aspect, the focus is excessive on the rights, and responsibilities somehow are not very clearly articulated. But the point is, responsibility does not have a uniform framework like rights. And that is why it gets pushed to the background very often. So one way of doing it would be to look at our laws, which are women-friendly laws, women-friendly schemes, and also start identifying if without, inadvertently, we have made it negative for men. That would be a very responsible way of using the rights that is given. The second aspect is, I always find it very, funny at one level, but also at another level, when my first MA students joined, and the very first presentation session for them, each of them would say, I want to be this. I would say, no. Even if you say, I want to be this, you can still achieve this. Whatever you want to be. Suddenly, we believe that being a feminist means, there's no one figure for being a feminist. So that is where, bit by bit, sharing of experiences help to create this sense of responsibility. And it has to happen within institutions as well. The seniors saying, this is what I faced, this is how I came out of it, but this is my best practice for being responsible. And somewhere along, that conversation does not happen. So if that conversation starts happening, we will automatically move towards the responsibility framework. And I don't think you have to completely move out of the rights framework. The rights are there for a particular reason and purpose. But the rights should not override responsibility. That was a point that I was trying to make. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I think questions.
I thought there was something on a chat.
I just get.
They were all praising. No, I think
Yeah,
the
they are all
question
praising.
was questioned.
Oh,
They were very happy about the session.
Oh, okay. Sure.
No question. Yeah, one more question. Maybe you can
one.
Yeah.
Bharti ma'am, it's just they have praised you, ma'am. So Bharti ma'am, you have given the right definition for women empowerment. Great. So there are a lot of applauds to you. They have been enjoying your session. So, any more questions? Thank you, ma'am. We learn to articulate because, as you said, problem lies in articulation. So all of us, I'm sure, these 5 days, apart from that, it is there within us because we never give up. We are always, we are never in a comfort zone. So we'll try to articulate and come out and really excel. Thank you so much for your energizing words. Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite our Principal Coordinator and Dean IQAC, Professor Agustin Maniraj Pandyan, to deliver the felicitation. Sir has been receiver of the Fellow of Institution of Engineers. He has received Best Teacher Award in 2005-06. And to mention, he has also got an outstanding performance report for 10 consecutive years as a Group A Gazetted Officer in MES, Ministry of Defense. Sir, the platform is all yours.
Sir, I think his network. Sir, should I make him co-host? Maybe something. One second.
Sir is there, ma'am, as co-host in Dean IQAC. His mic is on, his video is also on. Maybe you'll have to call him, ma'am.
Network issue.
Network issues. He's gone out now.
Yes, sir, left.
Yeah,
Maybe he will rejoin.
Yeah, during this period, if someone wanted to discuss any questions to ma'am, maybe one question maybe taken. Yeah, Dean sir is come.
Sir has joined. Sir, you need to unmute. We could not hear you.
Am I
Yes, sir,
audible,
welcome,
madam?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. A very good afternoon to everyone present here, especially to the speaker, Dr. Bharati Harishankar. In fact, I was carried away by her speech. Also, I'm very much glad that Dr. Ramasamy, organizers, Dr. Ipomal, Srimati Ramya Tangarevadi, Durga Saravanan, Kodai, and 100+ esteemed empowered women. In fact, it was a wonderful session to be part of, and I am very proud of that. Hello, there is a small issue in my this thing. Yeah.
It's okay, sir. It's okay. We could. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, there is some glitch with their, I think, some technical issue. So, sir is checking it. Yeah, take your time, sir. Someone messaged in the WhatsApp. Yeah, take your time. No issues.
Yeah, now I am all right. First of all, at the outset, I want to congratulate the Internal Complaints Committee and the IQAC of SRM-IST on organizing FDP on capacity building of women in higher education in quick succession to the previous one in January. It is indeed a tremendous achievement to organize such well-attended FDPs under the present constrained circumstances caused by COVID-19. This speaks volume of the great efforts put in by the team consisting of women, its meticulousness and professionalism. What better example we need to demonstrate that we are in the right track towards capacity building of women in higher education. The range of topics covered is quite noteworthy, which addresses the entire gamut of concerns of women as they contribute immensely to the cause of enriching higher education in India. The feedback provided by the participants proves in no uncertain terms that the FDP is a resounding success. Mrs. Shanta Sheila Nair, a distinguished and enterprising IAS officer, set the FDP rolling with a passionate and thought-provoking inaugural address. This was followed up by a series of lectures and group discussions on gender mainstreaming, women entrepreneurship, SDGs, women health and nutrition, mentoring, women in research, internationalization, work-life balance and stress, gender atlas, prevention of sexual harassment, leadership style and assessment. The large number of faculty members who attended this FDP without missing a beat are to be congratulated profusely for their keenness and activism. I have no doubt that the women faculty who have attended the FDP might have all their concerns addressed, empowered, and transformed to be the stellar torchbearers of higher education. There is no doubt on the capabilities and competencies of women in whatever field they choose to be part of, be as a homemaker, working woman, entrepreneurs. Women are excelling and will continue to excel. Higher education field is no exception. But women must excel in their own way, using their God-given abilities rather than as defined by men or by their own liberation fronts. Women become empowered only when they have the freedom of choice. A woman shall have the right to be and aspire for any position in an organization, including the freedom to decline a position if she feels that it is not suitable for her. She should not be under a compulsion to accept any post just because others want her to accept it for woman empowerment's sake. The decision is to be honored rather than forcing her to do otherwise. Women may work to their strength, not to somebody else's strength. If a woman becomes a CEO, succeeding a male counterpart, then she may perform her task in her own unique way, fueled by her feminism. She must have the freedom to be in her own shoes rather than to be in somebody else's shoes. That will bring a paradigm shift in the functioning of the organization. Quoting from Rabindranath Tagore, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, which is applicable to all. Women become truly empowered and liberated when they can be what they want to be in their own style, leveraging their unique potential, which is different from men. I hope this FDP has empowered them to be so. Thank you very much for the organizer for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with all your empowered women. Thank you so much.
So much, sir. Thank you so much. And thank you. Special thanks to you from inaugural. You were trying to attend most of the session. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. We do expect a paradigm shift which will happen with all the potential which women have to prove it from their own end. Thank you so much, sir. And now I invite Komal ma'am to give away the awards and the certificates in the online mode as a part of appreciation. Yes, as a part of appreciation to encourage our participants.
Sharing. Someone is sharing the screen. Should I? You are muted. Yeah, who is sharing?
Yes, ma'am. Durga ma'am is sharing. 1 second.
I am very happy to announce the list of participants who were given appreciation certificates. Yeah. So to start with, Mrs. Ruma De, PG teacher, Max, Delhi Public School, Shiran. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Congratulations. Next. Mrs. Uma Mageshwari, Assistant Professor, Accounts and Commerce, St. Joseph College of Arts and Science, Krishnagiri. Congratulations, ma'am, again to you. Then Mrs. Shalini Maurya, Primary Teacher, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Jaipur. Congratulations, ma'am. And Dr. R. Kumudaveni, Assistant Professor, Computer Science, Speech Processing, Ponganadu Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. Ponganadu, yes. Congratulations, ma'am. And Dr. Jyoti Verma from Department of Education, Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidhalaya, Chhattisgarh. Congratulations, ma'am. Dr. Sabira Bijani, Assistant Professor Chemistry, Marwadi University, Rajkot, Gujarat. Congratulations, ma'am. Dr. Lalita Solanki. Yeah, I wanted to tell about her. She has given a wonderful feedback, or she has given a suggestion to us also to play some inspirational videos during the break session, and that was done. Thank you for that, ma'am. And our own faculty from other campus, from Badapalli campus, Ms. P. Pumati, Assistant Professor, English Department from Chennai, Badapalli campus. Thank you, ma'am. Now, all these participants were actively participating throughout all the sessions, and we got some names from the expert speakers who have interacted, and based on that, these names were selected. More than 90 were almost attending all the sessions. Out of them, these people were actually named by the respective speakers. And now to go about, and as I told you, there were some activity sessions. In that, team members who have presented, they were supposed to be appreciated, and they have taken enough time, and they have spent extra time and came out with the presentations for that activities. So to start with, Ms. Alakanda Panda, Primary Teacher English, DAV Public School, Odisha. Congratulations, ma'am. She did on case study activity on time management, work-life balance. And next one, congratulations. Second person. Can you please move the slide? Yeah. Dr. R. Kumudaveni, Assistant Professor again, Konganadu Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. Congratulations, ma'am, for her case study. And again, Ms. Ekta Diktesh, Delhi Public School, for her case study on prevention of sexual harassment. Yes. Next, Dr. Anushree Deshpande from KLE College of Pharmacy, Karnataka, who has done on case study activity under gender equity and equality. Yes. Mrs. Rumade again from Delhi Public School, who has case study activity under work-life synchronization. Yeah. Next, Dr. B. Uma Mageshwari from St. Joseph College of Arts and Science, Krishnagiri, for her case study activity on work-life balance, and somewhere in team. Yeah, thank you so much. And Ms. P. Vallikanu, maths teacher from Magarishi Vidya Mandir, Tamil Nadu, Krishnagiri. Congratulations, ma'am. She has done the case study on work-life balance. And Mary Medleda from Sri Ramakrishna Engineering College, Coimbatore. She has done the case study on research challenge in academic career. Congratulations, ma'am. Dr. M.K. Jayant Kannan, Professor, Department of Computer Science from Jain Deemed to be University, Bangalore. He has done on research challenge in academic career. Congratulations. Dr. M. Gilbert Rani from Arul Anandar College, Madurai. She has done on case study under research challenge in academic career. Please. And Dr. W. Grace Shanti. She has assistant professor. She has done the case study in research challenge in academic career. She is from Warangal, Kakatiya Institute of Technology and Science. Congratulations, ma'am. Yes. Yeah. And last but not the least, Ms. Alakanta Panta, who has also studied in case study. She has presented from DAV Public School. And few more were in was over. I think some participants we missed for survey. survey, yeah, projects and survey.
1 minute, ma'am.
Dr.
Let us
Megha,
open the next one.
yeah. Dr. Megha from Maharashtra, she has done that, presented a project titled Interdisciplinary Curriculum on in that activity session. Congratulations, ma'am. And Dr. Gilbert Rani, again, she has done on project title Entrepreneurship Mindset Among Students. Thank you, ma'am. Congratulations. And Dr. Ms. Darshana Satish from Sri Krishna College of Technology, Kerala. She has done a survey on general perception of women career advancement. And Dr. Mrs. Shalini Maurya from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Jaipur. She has done a survey titled Work-Life Balance. And Dr. S. Anandi, she has done a survey titled Work-Life Balance. She is from SRM Institute of Technology from Agricultural Science. This is the first time I am seeing that. Yes, Jyoti Verma, Dr. Jyoti Verma from Vishwavidyalaya, Bilashpur, Chhattisgarh. She has done a survey on prevention of sexual harassment, and she has done very wonderfully. And at that time, she was telling that many of the, and actually the survey happened within the faculty members who are in this FDP, and she was coming out with the information that many around more than 50% are not knowing that they have internal committee in their university. That was a really alarming message she brought to us. Congratulations to all. It is our pleasure to have you all here, and you were really taken extra efforts, actively participated. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, please, can you play that? Yeah, please.
1 minute.
Ma'am, ma'am,
Meghna? Yes, ma'am. Meghna, ma'am.
ma'am,
We
was
missed you.
my certificate was not
missed?
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We will. Okay.
I
Yeah, maybe we would have
presented the
missed it.
survey on work-life balance.
We would have had, maybe we would have missed reading it. Sorry, ma'am.
problem.
Congratulations. We will give it
Thank
to
you. No problem.
Congratulations. Yeah, thank you so much. Ramya, you can proceed. Yeah, to the next session. Yeah.
Congratulations to all the participants here. It is not, you might be missing your certificates, but still the happiness that you were always a part of this 5-day online FDP is going to take you a long way. And here I am to deliver the vote of thanks. I quote Benjamin Franklin, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn." Yes, we all were totally involved in all the practical session and in the lectures which were shared to us. I, on behalf of SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Internal Compliance Committee, Internal Quality Assurance Cell, and the entire team of ATEL FDP, deem it a privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable day. I'd like to express a sincere gratitude to your Honorable Vice Chancellor for giving an excellent coverage on what capacity building for women in higher education is through statistical data, citing our own institute as an example. To quote his words, that the talent and skill rule over silly aspects like gender. His words of wisdom and for his valuable time, we really thank him. A big thank you to Ms. Shantashila Nair, IAS retired, for tremendous positive motivation and a close-to-heart speech on what women are. Her suggestion to create Femtech in the field of AI, I'm sure, will be well taken. Her session was really enthralling. We thank you, ma'am, for that. A sincere thanks to our Dean CET, Dr. T.V. Gopal sir, for having shared his insights on eliminating gender stereotyping and gender disparity. On behalf of participants, SRM family and AICTE ATEL, we wholeheartedly thank all the speakers who have definitely played a vital role in molding each one of us for the past 5 days with their inputs. Each session were overloaded with inputs, and we honestly thank the speakers for having widened our knowledge horizon. We thank our Director Research, our Dean IQAC, and the chief guest of the day for having given their consent, sharing their time and knowledge during this valedictory function. We thank you once again. We wholeheartedly thank Pro VC Medical, all deans, all directors, and all heads of departments who were with us today to grace the valedictory function. We would like to thank the Chair, School of Computing, and Sridevi Ma'am for having supported us with the Zoom platform. We thank the DTP Design for having helped us to release a wonderful 7-year, which is of course a memory for all of us. Last but not the least, I thank the Almighty for having given us all good health during the time of this pandemic. The FDP, as quoted by our Vice Chancellor, is definitely going to be a movement for we will not leave what we have acquired at this juncture, rather take it to a higher level and prove we can be strong leaders in near future. As per the words of Maya Angelou, you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. On this note, I thank one and all who have really shared your valuable time with us, your valuable feedback with us. Definitely is going to take us all to greater heights. Thank you so much. And now, it's a national anthem.
चल यमुना गंगा जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you all. For any queries, for any updates, you can definitely get back to us. We are always there to help you out in either the material or in getting the numbers of the speakers, sharing their mail IDs. Thank you one and all, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, speakers, all the director faculty, ma'am, Bharati ma'am, special thanks to you, Dean IQAC. Thank you so much for your presence. And it was wonderful to have you all here today. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Please say one thing, ma'am. On behalf of all the participants, I have attended a lot of FDP programs, ma'am, but I must tell this to Bhuvanamal, ma'am. Your face has always been smiling in these 5 days. Not one single time have I seen a frown or tension or thing. It's always a smiling face, and it's a pleasure to have known you, ma'am.
Yeah, as told, it is a support team which we have. And one more thing again, Bharati ma'am, because we told that this is the character which my father told me that at any point of time you should smile. Even a slight change in that, you will ask why are you keeping like that? And maybe it was inculcated in my mind from my father. Thank you. Thanks to him. Thanks to you. Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you, Pomal, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Thank you all. It's
Good
a
afternoon,
pleasure.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm from Kolkata, Mala Roy speaking. Although I could not attend on all the 5 days right from the morning as I had my school classes. So in the afternoon, you must have seen me joining the classes, the sessions. It was wonderful. And one thing to conclude the meeting, which gave me a feeling of being in the school, that was the playing of the national anthem. It It was wonderful, ma'am. The ending was really awesome, I could say.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for your presence. Maybe if you can come on video, maybe we can take a photo of that all your, who all can come. Please come on video so that we can take a photo of it.
Yes, ma'am.
It will be nice to have you all to take a photograph. Yeah. Thank you.
Please smile, ma'am.
Yeah.
Like your beautiful smile.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is Mala Roy.
Hello, ma'am. Yeah.
Hello. Good to see you, ma'am.
Thank you.
It was wonderful.
Thank you. It is all pleasure for the entire team.
Daphnisha again. Yeah, ma'am, you have given a wonderful platform and a wonderful opportunity to introduce myself and my skills, whatever. I gained knowledge so much, and someone told before this one, you are ever laughing face, ma'am. Really, it is wonderful to see you from the day one to till date. End of the program also, you are saying
entire team will be like that, ma'am, only.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Woman power, you showed woman power, and I am fortunate to have part of this one. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you all. Thank you, the entire team. Now it is my time to thank you all, the organizing team members. It's all because of them only I'm able to get this much of feedbacks from you all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ma'am, hope to meet you in the future also.
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely. Yeah.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am. This is Kumudaveni.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm very thankful to you all, your organizing team, your wonderful team, ma'am. Really, I want to praise all your four members who really participated with all of you, Puvamal ma'am, Ramya ma'am, and
Srimati, sorry, ma'am, everyone were working.
Revati ma'am, really wonderful ma'am. You have selected excellent speakers, and really it was a very inspiring thing. And we thought that why we cannot conduct like this in our institution, and really it is necessary. And we have to contact you to still get more ideas on this. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
The team, it was entire the team effort. Definitely, they only made. They have attended programs and they also told the right persons we were able to contact. And thanks to our management, when we called from SRM, they believe that they can do and they have given it. Thank you.
Congratulations for your entire team and your college, ma'am, your university. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And regarding all the other instructions will be sent to you by mail. And if you can continue for one more day in WhatsApp, we can send all the relevant details in the WhatsApp too. And
Yes,
you
ma'am,
will
sure.
be given to today, Tankarevati will send you examination link and the feedback link. As you know, feedback link will close by 8 o'clock tonight. But for the examination, it is not an evaluation. We are not trying to evaluate you. Please be relaxed. Read your, if you have time, you can go through the souvenir in which all the contents are given. So you can take it as an assignment, do that, and that will, and the time maybe up to Sunday morning 9 o'clock, it will be open. You can attend the exam at any point of time.
Ma'am, the Google form will be also sent through mail?
Yes. WhatsApp
Okay.
also we will send. WhatsApp also
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
And
Thank you so
certificates will
much.
be sent to you through the mail. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was nice, wonderful. And it is, it is a great day for all of you. All have a happy life and blessed life all these years. We'll meet at soon. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, the team.